So you are now on camera. Heads up. And I'm excited though, because this is a great class. We're going to focus a little bit on the head, neck, and shoulders. And we'll do a couple of exercises that help to open up the spine in the flows. But let's start off with some breath work. So just look down, make sure your feet are outer hip distance apart. And let's just do lower abdominal breathing. So one hand on top of the other. Let's shrug the shoulders up towards the ears, exaggerate, and then really exaggerate, letting the shoulders melt down and just kind of feel the difference of how we feel internally when our shoulders are shrugged. We feel a little bit maybe more tight and uncomfortable and even claustrophobic. And then all that space when the shoulders really drop down away from your ears and relax, how much not only space physically we can see, right? Acute angle, obtuse angle. And that also translates to all that space internally, that freeing of the energy around the heart. Take a nice, slow, deep inhale through the nose. And a nice, slow exhale through the nose. And just imagine with each exhalation, we are creating even more space between the ears and the shoulders. This is also a good check-in to do even throughout the day as we go about our activities and our daily to-dos. Every once in a while, especially when we might find ourselves in situations where typically we know that we get a little more stressed, just to kind of close your eyes for a moment and just notice if your shoulders had started to creep back up. And then just take even 30 seconds to let them descend and do a few rounds of deep abdominal breathing. And that can often help you to readjust that frequency, right? Being in the frequency of being stressed and contracted, or allowing that space and then awareness to help us turn that dial to a different frequency, maybe a frequency of feeling sort of open and more spacious and flexible, maybe even curious. And then let your arms drop down and let's go right into knocking on the door of life. Opening up all these key pressure points. These points that also reside over our major organs. And then let's come up below the collarbone. Let's get some stimulation going throughout the lungs, the immune system. All the way to the top of the shoulders. And then come back down below the collarbone. And then back down to the lower abdomen. And then let's slow down. So we are going to do a version of bear walking that is really great to still open up the spine and rotation, but also kind of getting some more mobility into the back of the shoulders and the front of the shoulders, the chest. So bear walking, we're going to turn to your right. And as we do, come to the ball of your left foot as we rotate over. And then you're going to inhale and bring your hands up so that your hands come just underneath your chin and your elbows a little bit higher. And then just look up. And then as we come back to the center, drop the hands down. And now twist and turn over to the left, coming to the ball of the right foot. And then you're going to inhale so the hands come up just underneath the chin and you're looking up. And then exhale down. So we're turning and twisting and rotating, but then we're opening up all the way to the thoracic spine, the upper spine, opening up the shoulders, and then exhaling back to the center. And we come back to the center, open up the hands, and just slowly let the hands descend back down. And we turn, rotate, look up. And then we unwind, come back to the center, and sink back down. So think of a little bit of a spinal cord breathing movement here, but we're rotating, but we're incorporating the arms, loading them up, opening up the chest, opening up the shoulders, and then exhaling back to the center. Let's do a few more of these before we come back to the center and moving on. And let's do one last turn. Coming to the center, and then exhale back down. Okay, let's continue. We're actually going to use a little acupressure here to direct our energy. So in Chinese medicine, there are certain points on the extremities that are said to, they're called confluent points. There are points that have a specific correlation to a certain area of the body or certain meridian. So I'm going to come closer so you can see what I'm looking at. So there's a point on the small intestine channel. So if you look at your pinky finger, okay, from the tips, trace your finger down the outside and you feel where that little bony protuberance is, right at the where the palm begins, just past that. So there's like a where the pinky, the bone meets the palm. You can even bend that finger down a little bit. So just on the other side of the knuckle, there's a little divot, a little point. So you're just going to massage that point. You massage it with either you can press in with your thumb, the nail of your thumb, or you can just use your thumb and rub that space. It might be a little bit tender, but this is small intestine 3, and it opens up the energy in the back of the body, the entire spine. So because we are going to be doing some work back there, this is a great point to kind of open up the space even into the shoulders, the back of the body. And this is the point, if I needle on you, I'm sorry. It's a little bit tender, but it is pretty powerful. And then let's do the other side. Oftentimes, if people have problems with their shoulders or something's going on with the spine, this is a point that we'll use quite often. Leah's got her toy, and then we'll take your loose fist so that you're aligning those 2 points, and we're just going to gently knock them against one another. Another way of stimulating them. And I'm going to come back to my standing position here, because what I'm going to have you do is we'll knock here another few seconds, help stimulate. And then release your arms down and close your eyes. You might feel a little tingling sensation throughout the hands, but you might also feel that there's a little bit of movement internally. It might be a little very subtle throughout the back of the body. And now that we've stimulated that point, let's go into spinal cord breathing. So inhale, you're going to raise your hands and look up in the inhale. And then on the exhale, sorry, I'm just going to mute everyone. We curl forward, the chin tucks down. Now this time, as we inhale and we rise up, you're going to keep your chin tucked in. So usually the head might be upright or even looking up. I'm actually going to have you keep your chin slightly tucked. And what that's going to do is it will open up the back of the neck. And then as we exhale and come forward, use those arms slightly, a little bit more energy in the arms to sort of open up the upper back. So as we inhale and come up, the chin is going to stay a little tucked. So it's a little bit different variation. And then exhale, we're still rolling forward, tucking the chin, keeping the chin tucked in on the exhale. We're going to inhale. So we're just directing the energy a little bit more into the areas between the shoulders and the head and the neck. And as we come forward, you might even notice, right, those 2 points that we were just massaging are in alignment with one another. And then we inhale and come up as we exhale. So we're not touching them as we come forward, but there's a little space between them. They're energetically connected though. And let's do one more inhale. And then exhale, you can bring your head back to a neutral position. And let's go into a wider stance. We're going to go into moving the body like a river, and then we'll add on slightly and do a little bit of arm extension, sort of like a side angle. But let's first start at our neutral position here. Even just getting a little bit of a stretch into the inner thighs. And then we start to shift the weight from the right foot to the left foot, allowing the body to roll. So think of moving your hips first, and then the upper body just rolls on over to that side. And getting some really good movement through the spine laterally. Inhaling and exhaling. And then maybe coming a little more parallel to the ground. It just changes the dynamic a little bit. It might be a little bit more intense. Allowing that move, freeing up the movement in the shoulders and the head. So think of just making your body moving like a river, right? There is a flow and continuity and moving with relaxation. And let's come to the center. Let's stretch the arms up. So grab one wrist with the opposite hand. Oh, gigantic inhale, and then slowly exhale forward. Let's just hang here for a moment, keeping the knees nice and bent. Just let a little bit of upper body stretch coming from the head, providing that traction. And then very slowly, let's roll on up, stretch, and then the arms come back down. So this time, we'll go into moving the body like a river. The difference is we're going to allow the arm to come across and we'll go into a pseudo side angle. So basically, as the hips come over, you can either keep your your elbow on your leg, and then you're just gonna let the opposite arm come up. So there's a nice stretch through the entire length of the body. And then you're gonna come forward over to the opposite side, elbow on the thigh, and then inhale. Gonna inhale, a little bit of a side angle, and then coming forward. So it's the movement is a little bit different than moving the body like a river, but we're still shifting the weight from the right to the left. Now we're just incorporating a little bit of a side stretch to open up the ribs, the sides of the ribs, and opening up the shoulder. You can make the stance even shorter. You want to keep your hand instead of your elbow, keeping your hand on your thigh. That's totally fine as well. Just thinking about making a side angle as we come across, and think about stretching all the way from your foot to the tips of your fingertips. Inhale and open, maybe even look up towards that hand as it rises towards the ceiling. We're actually stretching throughout the entire small intestine channel here. Think about the shoulder all the way up to the fingertips. And let's do one more. And then let's come to the center. Let your hands come to the floor, or they can rest on your thighs again. We'll stay here in a forward bend for another moment. And then slowly roll up. Grab one wrist with the opposite hand again. And then exhale the hands down. Okay. We're going to do one more strengthening exercise before we go into our flows. And this is turtle. So that's more of a posture, and we're using our breath in the posture to really strengthen and open the back. So you want to come so that your feet are a little bit wider than a hip distance apart, and your feet are turned slightly out. And then you're going to bend your knees. Keep the weight distributed more towards your heels, though. Okay, so that you're not putting too much pressure on your knees. And then this is the first position. Okay, so your knees are bent, your weight's more towards your heels, and you can keep your hands on your thighs. So this is the first position. Second position is that your elbows come and rest on top of your thighs, just above the knee. And the third position is your elbows are inside your knees, even slightly pressing into the inside of your knees. So if you want to roll up for a minute, and what we'll do is whatever of those three versions feels best for you, we're going to stay in that position for about 30 seconds and doing breath work, focusing, opening up the lower spine, the lower back where the kidneys are. So again, come to whatever variation works best. So weight towards your heels, bending your knees, hands on your thighs, elbows on your thighs, or arms dangling down and slightly pressing in. Okay. And we'll stay here for about 30 seconds and think about breathing into the kidneys. Just imagine that you could, when you inhale, this area can puff out. Even just imagining that you're directing your breath into that space, you are energizing the kidney area. So slow, deep breath. It's a little challenging. It's really a strengthening exercise for the legs. Your face, you want to look down towards the earth. There's a different variation called buffalo, where you'll be looking up. This is called turtle. Nice, slow breath. You might start feeling the legs generating some heat. They might be shaking a little bit. That's okay. Another few seconds. And then very slowly put your hands, if they're not already, on your thighs, and then very slowly roll all the way up. Very slowly. Pause here. You can even close your eyes, just feeling that flood of energy throughout the whole body. It generates a lot of energy. And then to balance that, we'll do a few pulling down the heaven flows. So it's inhale, the arms down, around, and up. And just think of balancing that activation, right, with a little intention of descending energy now. And one more. Okay, so shake out the legs, shake out the arms, get some pumping action. A great time again to exaggerate your exhale through the mouth, right? This is a clearing, shaking is a clearing exercise. So that's one in which we can actually use that breath, exhaling out the mouth as a way of enhancing the letting go of stress. And let's start to slow down. Okay. It's really warm here again. We just generated a lot of internal heat. So let's start with open the flow. So we're going to let the arms be nice and loose. And then as we inhale, the arms float up to shoulder height. Then the elbows drop as we start the exhale, bringing the hands back down. So again, inhale. And exhale. Think about moving through this field of cool, soothing energy. Think of yourself as this little boat or raft, and we're just allowing our mind, our heart center, body to float up and down on that current that's flowing through us. Just moving slowly as an opportunity to bring ourselves into the present moment, out of fight or flight, into rest and digest. A reminder that our bodies are so intelligent, they know what to do. We have obviously the energy and aspect of ourselves that's voluntary, and our movements, even thoughts to a degree, right? And then the involuntary, the stuff that happens behind the scenes without us even having to think about it. Sometimes we need to create and cultivate a container in which we're operating so that the involuntary can happen more harmoniously. So using our voluntary selves, using work like this to have a window into the subconscious and creating an internal environment that is connected, that helps us feel connected to ourselves, to one another, nature. Now let's go from here to opening the flow to the 6 directions. So we start, same inhale, but now we pull in on the inhale. Exhale, push forward. And then inhale, up and all around. And I actually did that incorrectly. Exhale forward, inhale, pull in, exhale to the sides. I just gave you a clue to what we're doing next. I'm merging 2 flows into one here. So we start, inhale, draw in, exhale, push forward, inhale, pull in, exhale to the sides, inhale, draw in, and then exhale all the way down. So we start, inhale to the front, and then we push forward on the exhale, pulling back in, and then we exhale, extend to the sides, draw in right in front of the third eye, and then exhale slowly down the center line of the body. And then again, inhale, and exhale. And then inhale, nice and slow. Feeling even the sensations that's happening beyond the fingertips. Right? We're using this cultivation of our internal environment to have a better connection to the external. Tapping into that more subtle, invisible energy. Softening the hands. Now let's inhale, continue with the same flow. Exhale, push forward. Inhale, draw in. This time, as we extend the arms out, let's leave them there just for a moment. So the fingertips are pointing to the sides of the room. Even close your eyes and just imagine, right, that you are extending beyond where your skin ends. Just past those fingertips. What's happening? What's the sensation happening beyond your physical? And slowly, like you're pulling in this ooey gooey orange nectar light, hold that chi ball right in front of the third eye for a moment. And let it drop down just in front of the heart center. And then down to the lower abdomen. And then let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale, push forward. Inhale. We'll continue without pausing here. So inhale. And then exhale all the way down. Let's do that once more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then right in front of the third eye, that chi ball condenses. We drop it down in front of the heart. And then let's drop right in front of the lower abdomen. And let's pause here. And from here, let's go into embrace the tiger, return to the mountain. So this flow starts on the exhale. Well, the movement starts on the exhale. So we start here, our chi ball on the inhale, and then exhale, the arms spread apart, and then inhale, the back of the hands come together to about shoulder height, and then exhale, push forward, then inhale up, create a big circle all the way down. That's the inhale. So the exhale, and then back of the hands roll up in the inhale, push forward on the exhale, like you're making a diamond shape with your index fingers and thumb. And then inhale up and all the way down. Zoom is doing some crazy things these days. Exhale. And then inhale, roll up. Exhale, gently pushing forward. And then inhale the entire way down. We're inhaling and growing taller. And then exhale. We're rolling up on the inhale. Think of as we exhale, we're extending out. And then inhale, creating this big, beautiful golden orb around us. And then again, exhale. And then inhale, rolling up. I'm going to turn so you can see the side. Exhale, push forward. And then inhale, creating that big, beautiful orb all around. And then exhale, back of the hands together. We inhale, roll up. Exhale, push forward. Inhale, all the way down. And then exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So this whole flow, embrace the tiger, return to the mountain, right? It's about embracing that inner strength and courage, but also embracing that deep space of inner tranquility. And we're going to add on, we're going to change this up a little bit. So it's paused here for a moment. Just feeling solid, right, in your foundation. And acknowledge the courage that you have internally. So we'll change this slightly. And it's going to be more about nourishing the heart and pulling in that courage and abiding stillness and joy into the heart center. So let's start the same. We're going to inhale and then exhale, the arms separate. Same thing, back of the hands come together and we roll up on the inhale. Exhale, push forward. This time, we're going to keep the arms out and then just inhale so the arms are sort of at the shoulder height. Inhale, hands are going to spiral in and then face down. We're going to bend the knees slightly as like we're tapping into the well below us and scooping up right into the center of the chest. And let's pause here. The back of the fingers are right in the center of the chest. Pause here just for a few breaths. And then exhale, the arms come down. Okay, inhale. Exhale, the arms spread. Inhale, back of the hands together as we float up. Exhale, push forward and just open up, like you're opening up your heart center. The hands spiral in and then down, and we're just going to scoop down towards the earth. I'm going to inhale right into the center of the chest. A few breaths here. And then release, exhale. So let's keep our hands here as we inhale and then exhale. We go back into the flow. Back of the hands come together. We roll up. So the same starting point. We just open up now the heart center. The arms spiral in and then we scoop down like we're pulling up this beautiful reservoir of energy and pouring it into the heart center. A few deep breaths. And then exhale. Pause here as we inhale. Exhale, we spread. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, push forward. And inhale, open up the heart center. Exhale as we reach down, and then inhale. You're pouring that right into the center of the heart, the center of the chest. And exhale all the way down. Let's do that once more. Inhale, the chi ball. Exhale, we spread. Inhale, rolling up. And exhale, pushing forward. And then inhale, open up that heart center. Hands spiral in. And then we reach down into that wellspring. And then right into the center of the chest. And then exhale into our chi ball. And let's pause here. Let's bring the feet together. And we'll finish off with centering. So let's make our arms into that semicircle. Starting with the right, you're going to inhale the arm out to the side. And then just above the crown of the head, you're going to exhale your hand just through the central line of the body back to the starting point. And now the left. Inhale. And then exhale. And again, right. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Let's do once more to each side. Right. Inhale. Let's bring everything back in to our center. There's a lot of energy generated, opening the heart, opening the back of the spine. And let's finish off with bamboo in the wind, keeping everything right in the center here. Everything that you need energetically is right here. And when you're ready, you can crack your eyes open. Thank you, everyone. Sorry about the staggered start. I was hoping to do this outside. I'll figure out a way to do it at some point, but have a great weekend. Hope you're feeling good. Stay cool, and I will see you next week.